So we just had a great meeting with the oil executives. We've sort of formed a deal. They're going to be going in with hundreds of billions of dollars and drilling oil, and it's good for Venezuela and it's great for the United States. A lot of money is going to be made. Oil prices will come down, although they are getting down pretty good now without it. And it was a great meeting we had today with the biggest companies anywhere in the world.
President Trump touting a great meeting with top oil executives to discuss rebuilding Venezuela's oil production, also promising them that they would have, quote, total security if they invested. Our next guest was in that meeting. His name is Jarrod Agen, and he's with the White House National Energy Dominance Council, and he joins us now. Jarrod, thanks for joining us. That must have been a fascinating meeting. So let's start with this. So the president saying, hey, to all these executives, Venezuela needs to rebuild their oil infrastructure. You guys have the money to do it. We're going to provide the security. When I listened, I didn't get like a resounding yes from them. The president saying, you're dealing with us, not Venezuela. But over the long term, and a long-term investment and the billions of dollars it would take, they probably need a government they can count on that, you know, acknowledges rule of law, for example, and won't repatriate the investments.
Well, Rachel, it was a remarkable meeting at the end of a remarkable week, and I think it just shows the decisiveness and the strategy of President Trump and how it's paying off. To your point, he went around the room, and every single person expressed gratitude to the president for the action he's taken. A lot of these companies have already been in Venezuela over multiple years, have left, some have stuck through it. But what they were saying is a gratitude because the moves that the president has made have not only going to help the American people, but hugely benefit the Venezuelan people who want to have these massive resources unlocked. And President Trump is now liberating these massive resources. So you have massive companies like Chevron who have stuck it out, but under horrible situations where they can't get the materials they need, they can't get the products and the tools. And now imagine a world now where you have the access to the American ingenuity, the American system, where we can send in pumps, pressures, experts that can all get things into Venezuela. So now you can actually start to jumpstart the oil production. The issue that you had this week, which is remarkable, again, it just shows the speed of how this president is acting. From day one, he made energy a key to his White House. And so we have this unit, this National Energy Dominance Council, that can move at speed. And so earlier in this week, when the president secured these 30 to 50 million barrels, this is a key to the economy in Venezuela. It's key to the people that resources can flow. And so to able to take those 30 to 50 million barrels, get them into the American system, get them refined, get them into the American oil and gas system so now that oil prices can even more go down here in America. That opens up the whole system. So now that they can continue to pump and they can continue to produce oil in Venezuela, if you can't get that system running, then everything backs up. There's not payroll, there's not money coming into the system. And because of the president's speed and the action of Marco Rubio and Secretary Wright and Secretary Burgum and Vice President Vance, all of that is now working. And all of that happened just this week to able to figure out how to take 30 million barrels and get it into the system and now unlock a process for the whole system to flow. And so the strategy here is get all that in the short term. And what you heard the president, and he was really tough with them in the room, he said, hey, I want this to work. I want this to work for the Venezuela people. I want this to work for the American people. So after the press was in there, he kicked everybody out, and then he had a very clear message to everyone. He wants people to act. He wants them to act with speed. If this works for everybody, he wants them in there and investing. And everybody went around the room and said, yeah, we are in. We want to get in. We want to invest. And so it was an important point. And so now Secretary Wright and Secretary Burgum are going to work on the deals with them. But you've had companies, the big ones like Chevron, who have been in there, and you've had smaller ones, these wildcatters that know the resources are there and they really want to get in there and work.
Well, I think it's good that you bring up the point that the Venezuelan people want this investment. It's been dilapidated, this system for getting out the oil over the term with Maduro. Clearly, they need that American investment. And I don't know about anybody else, but I kind of find it very refreshing that we're talking very openly, that meeting was open and we all know what's happening here. So I think it's a step in the right direction, but we're going to need a long-term government that we can actually trust. All right,
yeah,
Jarrod.
And what one of the key points was just President Trump is a turnaround expert, and so people made clear of how bad the situation was under Maduro when it comes to the oil production. He is the one man that could unlock that and turn it around, and so there was massive confidence in his vision to help turn around all of the complications that were there under Maduro. President Trump is the one man that can turn that around.
Yep, he's turning around the whole Western Hemisphere. It's been incredible to watch. Jarrod Agen, thanks for joining us.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.